Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you a typical Siberian village. We are traveling for about 200 kilometers away from the big city where we live to visit my friend's mom. She lives in a small remote village. I will show you her house, the garden and animals she keeps, and of course the village itself. And where I am in the world right now, I am a Russian living in the coldest part of Russia in Siberia, in Irkutsk city. Irkutsk city is not far from China and only about 300 kilometers away from Mongolian border. So if you're curious about this part of the globe, stay tuned. On this channel, guys, I'm showing how Russians really live, an everyday life of ordinary Russian people.
What comes to mind when you think of Russia? Perhaps the grand palaces of St. Petersburg or the imposing Kremlin in Moscow. But there is another Russia, a quieter, deeper Russia, one that beats not in city squares but in the vast open spaces of the countryside. Today we are traveling into the heart of this Russia, the Russian village or деревня. It's a place of timeless beauty, profound hardship, and resilience that has shaped the Russian soul for centuries. According to statistics, there are currently more than 128,000 villages in Russia. 36 million people, which is about 25% of the country's population, live in rural areas of Russia. Some of the villages are quite prosperous and wealthy, while others are dying villages. They got to be established on the roads, which used to be busy and gave an opportunity to villagers to earn money. But nowadays, those routes around Russia are abandoned, as well as villages. To understand the Russian village is to understand the concept of the Russian soul, or dusha. It's a term that's hard to translate. It's a depth of feeling, a capacity for both great joy and profound sadness, a love for one's homeland. Have you ever wondered what remote Russian village looks like? So we are arriving to Karluk village, a remote and almost abandoned village 200 kilometers away from the regional center.
А он переживал, что не сможет 10 раз подтянуться. И вот так вот тренировался.
When you come into someone's house in Russia, you will be immediately offered a meal. This is a lasting and very strong tradition of hospitality. Food first. The shooting, the interview, the garden tour, all of that wait till travelers or guests are full.
Тамара Георгиевна, а как давно вы живете здесь?
С 83-го. С 83-го.
42 года. Потому что мне скоро 42.
83-го приехал. Если...
The owner of the house is Tamara Georgievna. She is a mom of my friend Nikolai. She was born in a tiny village named Vershina Tutura in the middle of nowhere. Vershina Tutura is a settlement or a camp of Siberian native people called Evenki. Tamara is 50% of Evenk. Her dad was Russian and her mom was from a local Siberian tribe of Evenki. There are more than 190 nations living in Russia nowadays, and most of them are indigenous people living in their historical territory. So she studied in a college in one of the regional centers and after graduation got back home to her tiny forest village. She used to work as a chief of a post office there. Tamara's sisters and brothers also got an education and managed to find different jobs in bigger cities and made a career. Some of them were doctors, some were army officers, and some went to work in aircraft industry. When she met her second husband, Nikolai's dad, he offered her to move to a bigger village, Russian village Karluk. For most of her life, she had been working as a deputy head of administration office in this settlement. So she has been living here since she was 27 years old. Nowadays, Tamara is a senior. She lives in Karluk, taking care of her garden and domestic animals.
Раньше было большое село. Когда колхозы были, село вообще большое было, даже 2 колхоза в одном селе было. Свежий воздух. Экологически чистые продукты едим. Ой, так-то я вот в город приеду, а мне некомфортно.
Ну вот я поэтому спрашиваю. Мгм.
Это так, даже на курорт поедешь, неделю от силы уже домой хочется.
У вас здесь друзья? Есть
Да,
общение?
подруги.
Мгм.
After a nice meal, we can explore the household. And we start with the garden or ogorod. We are shooting at the beginning of October, so all the flowers got cold already and most of the harvest is in. The main vegetables and herbs Tamara usually grows are potatoes, beetroots, cucumbers, zucchini, cabbage, carrots, parsley, sorrel, and green onions. She also has a greenhouse with tomatoes and pepper. A Russian ogorod or Russian garden is a fundamental pillar of life, a symbol of resilience, and a deeply ingrained cultural tradition. A garden in a village is not a hobby, it's a necessity and a duty. It represents a deep, almost genetic connection to the land, born from centuries of a peasant agrarian culture and reinforced by the food shortages of the Soviet era. It's a place of a hard, constant labor from spring to autumn, planting, weeding, watering, and harvesting. The second part of the household is the barn. This is a simple, unheated wooden structure near the main house. It's dark, earthy smelling space filled with the warmth of the animals and the scent of hay. In the harsh winter, the body heat from the cow and other animals provides a small amount of supplemental warmth to the building. Some families in villages have a car to drive around, or people use a bike or a bicycle within the village area. Now let's explore the house itself. It's a one-story wooden building. It was built by Nikolai's father in 1990, 35 years ago. It consists of an inner porch, kitchen, living room, and 2 bedrooms. Inner porch is often used to take off an outerwear and shoes. Also, it is used to keep something that needs to be cooled down or even frozen in winter. As you can see, the main door is covered with an insulation because winters are severe here. The first space you see entering the house is a kitchen, and it's large. This is a very typical interior for a village house. Very simple, there are only basic things to cook and store groceries and tableware. There are definitely no signs of overconsumption here. No Russian village house can be imagined without a Russian stove. In this particular case, the owner even used it to build an independent heating system for the whole house. Some harvest is still waiting to be processed. Probably it will be pickled or boiled and canned.
Коля, какая у тебя задача сегодня?
Задача подключить электричество к хозяйственным постройкам. Дать тепло курицам, чтобы курицы не замерзли в мороз.
The following spaces are 2 bedrooms and a living room, plus an additional tiny space representing a guest room and a storage. There are 2 interesting details which were in fashion in 90s and a bit earlier. Those are wallpapers and carpets on the walls. No one uses it in cities anymore, but here it brings a specific vibe of the past. I remember when I was a kid in my countryside house in my parents' dacha, walls were also covered with wallpapers. And at the same time, when I was a kid in our apartment in the city, carpets were always on the walls. The central space of any living room in almost any house or an apartment is taken by a big TV screen. There is even a very famous joke from the USSR era cartoon saying that a TV set is the best decoration of a New Year's Eve celebration table. As you can see now, Russians never stop to feed their guests. Tamara decided to bake some pies for us. It was so sweet. I haven't been eating homemade pies for ages. So, Now let's see the yard, what is around the main house. First of all, of course, there is a banya or a sauna. It's a must-have in a village. Also, there is a space for a fire and a barbecue. In the corner, you can find a wood pile. A large, well-stocked wood pile is a visible sign of a family being ready for the cold months. It represents hard work done in advance. Russians love to make flower beds from whatever they have at hand. We often use car tires or just stacked bricks. Quite a big space in front of the house is occupied with a chill zone. There are 2 sun lounges, a swing, and an outdoor shower. This is Banya, or sauna. The Russian Banya is a deeply rooted cultural institution and their ritual of purification.
This is bathroom. Баня. Эту баню мы строили с отцом. Отец, когда у меня был жив, мы вот лично, это его была первая постройка, которую он сделал сам. Баня — это то место, где можно помыться. В деревне как помыться? Растопил печку. Вот здесь hot water, горячая вода. Здесь емкость для холодной воды, но ее сейчас нету. Холодная вода, горячая вода. Холодную, горячую воду смешиваешь в тазике. Садишься и моешься. А потом грязную воду вылил сюда. Вылил воду, опять меняешь воду, ополаскиваешься. Ну и, короче, в зависимости от того, насколько ты чистюля, можешь процедуру несколько раз повторить.
The next construction in the yard is a toilet. This facility is never inside the house. It's a small separate wooden cabin typically located at the far end of the vegetable garden. It helps to keep odors away from the living space. The next construction every family in the village has is summer shower. It's not a room in the house but a small wooden cabin placed in the garden. There is a large black metal barrel on the roof. The sun heats the water all day long, turning it into a warm treasure by evening. You turn the tap and the sun-warmed water rushes out. It's a moment of pure, simple pleasure where you feel deeply connected to the sun, the earth, and the quiet rhythm of village life.
Это наше картофельное поле. This is potato. Почему-то раньше мы очень много садили картошки, потому что очень много было скота. Мелкую картошку скоту, крупную картошку в подполье. Всю зиму ее ели много картошки, потому что, денег-то особо не было. Картошка — это вообще смерть. Обработать ее, посадить — это ее полдела. Ее надо выполоть, окучить, огрести специальными приспособлениями. И это все, а потом выкопать и опять засыпать. В общем, это адский труд, так я вам скажу. Сейчас, слава богу, вот мы посадили чуть-чуть совсем. Нам 2 мешка хватает на всю зиму, на человека. А выкапывали по 40 мешков.
А сейчас сколько мешков?
Может, 12, может быть, 10. Так где-то.
Yes, of course, life is not easy in conditions like this, when you don't have central heating system, when you don't have a shower inside and toilet inside the house. But there are advantages of such a simple rural life, which is silence. There is no noise pollution, there is no light pollution, and there is no air pollution. As soon as I got into this place, into this village, I could feel that I can breathe really, really deep here. The air smells very nice. It smells like different local herbs. It smells like coniferous forest, and forest is right there, and there is a river behind this forest. So the nature is great here.
In the Russian village, animals are not pets in the urban sense. They are members of the working household, the foundation of its self-sufficiency and a vital source of food, income, and even warmth. And a cow is a queen of a homestead. She is the most valued animal, often given a name and treated with a great respect. Her primary gift is milk.
Huh? Huh? Are you also from here? Who's your owner? Hello. Hello. How are you doing? Oh, there are two of you here. Коля, у вас сколько коров? Do you want to be a star? YouTube star. Hmm? Oi. I'm not sure if you're allowed to get in. I need to ask.
The milk is used for drinking, making sour cream, yogurt, and most importantly, a vast quantity of cottage cheese and butter. So, Tamara keeps 3 cows and 30 chickens. They provide eggs, but rarely used as a meat. And of course, the sound of a rooster crowing is a village alarm clock. At night, they are secured in a barn to protect them from foxes.
Самая главная проблема в этой деревне – это вода. Потому что артезианская вода глубоко. Поэтому воду приводят с родника централизованно. Организовывает это все сельская администрация. И чтобы заказать воду, нужно там позвонить доставщику воды. И раз в неделю воду привозят. Вот.
Да,
да. Вот, сверху. Одна бочка стоит 70 рублей сейчас. Во времена моего детства воду возил колхоз, государственный колхоз, и возил всем бесплатно и хоть сколько. Вот сейчас главная проблема, вот, чтобы сделать там благоустройство, это отсутствие воды.
While we were shooting, more food got ready. The smell of those pies were crazy good. Tamara baked one big pie with berries and a lot of small pies with potato. As I'm always hungry, I'm always ready for more food. And of course, traditionally, for desserts like this, we need a cup of tea.
There are many houses in this village, in any village, which are abandoned. No one lives there, so I wanna get closer to this house and take pictures and videos of that. No one's lived there for many years already, so I'm looking for a way to get there. Ну, вот так попробуем. Ой, блядь. Ой, блядь. Все, пролезли. Нормально все.
The history of Karluk village is typical for many old villages along the Lena River. The foundation of the village dates back to the period of the exploration of Siberia by Russian colonists in 17th and 18th century. The village was a small station on the famous Lensky Tract, the main overland road leading from central Russia to the Lena River and further to Yakutia. The main occupations of the first inhabitants were the transportation of mail and goods, agriculture, hunting, and fishing. During 19th and early 20th century, Karluk, like other villages along the road, was a bustling point. Here, horses were changed, and wagon trains, merchants, exiles, and gold prospectors stopped for a night. The village had a small motel, a small church, and a shop. Life was fully dependent on the road. After the 1917 revolution and the Civil War, a collective farm, which we call kolkhoz, was established in Karluk. Life shifted towards agriculture. However, the construction of modern roads and development of air service led to the gradual decline of the old Lensky Tract. The village of Karluk, finding itself away from the new transport routes, began to lose its importance and population. The younger generation left for the district center of Kachuk or Irkutsk, or for large enterprises in the region. After the collapse of the USSR and the liquidation of unprofitable collective farms, the process of decline accelerated. The lack of work, infrastructure like schools and hospitals, and plans for any development led to the village depopulation. The history of Karluk village is very typical for many Russian villages.
And now we go for a bike tour around the village. I hate bikes, really hate, but I need to do it for content. Content creation! Поехали!
So let's start our bike tour around the village. Karluk is a small village located about 60 kilometers away from the district center. The population is 200 people living in 70 houses. The village is surrounded by mountains covered with pine and birch trees. There is no hospital here, only a feldsher midwife station. The nearest hospital is 60 kilometers away. Moreover, there is no public transport. So, if you don't have your own car and you want to get to the district center, for example, to go for a hospital, you need to book a public bus traveling from one regional center to another one to stop on the highway to pick you up. But before, you should find a way to get to the highway, which is 3 kilometers away from the village. The nearest school is 10 kilometers away in another village. The kids are transferred there by school bus. This place used to be a prosperous and much bigger in the past. Nowadays, people are living for understandable reasons, and its future is uncertain.
Ну куда? Куда хорошие мои? Хорошие. Не сюда. Что это такое?
Поить скот. Это не говно, это колхозная ремонтная мастерская. Вон то здание, вот то, вот приблизь его. Да, колхозная ремонтная мастерская. Там стоял токарный станок 1945 года, вывезенный еще из Германии, made in Germany. Ну, как бы вывезенный из Германии по репарации, да, по репарации. И он работал, все годы он работал вообще исправно, без единого ремонта.
Do you want to be a superstar? Another one is here.
Точка.
Это не гора. Ой, no, I'm not going to be on the bike when we go down the hill. Safety is my priority.
Our next point to visit is a drinking water distribution station.
Чё?
Это колодец, вот вода. Вот она вода. Видишь?
Ну так. Ну, допустим.
Ну, зимой это все утепляют сверху, накидывают, и вода там внутри. И туда прокинут только шланг. Трактор подъезжает сюда, вставляет шланг в бочку, и в бочке создает вакуум. Из бочки высасывает воздух, и она, соответственно, начинает всасывать воду. Ну и все, и этой бочкой потом по деревне развозят воду. Новое здание.
Now it's time for shopping. There are two shops here in this village. I'm going to show you one of those. Что, есть мороженка?
Есть. Ой, сырые находятся.
Ну, сырые, да.
Орешек кедровый.
Так. Оля, а у тебя терминал есть? С QR-кодом заплатить, допустим. Потому что я с собой не взял.
Я не буду, я что-то промерзла сейчас.
Ты не будешь ложить?
И пока мы ехали, я что-то промерзла. Что еще тут есть интересно? Шапки. Сочки. Хотя буду. С крошкой шоколадной.
Что?
С крошкой шоколадной буду. Там не полно, так, килограмм. Так, так, 801. Так, 801. 801.
Еще связь-то у меня висит. Здесь две же связи вместе.
Иди.
Из дома выгоняют.
Чистенькая красотка.
There is a saying in Russia: I can non-stop watch three things: water, fire, and other people working. So guys, this day was fun, but a little bit sad. Is it fair that Russian villages are dying? From the perspective of objective laws of economics and sociology, yes, this is a natural but very painful process of social transformation. But from human, cultural, and historical perspective, no. It's a profoundly unfair, and it leads to the suffering of certain individuals and the loss of priceless part of the national heritage. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button and leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what is the rural life in your country like and how's it going. See you next videos. Bye.